Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to crochet this really pretty solid circle. Okay, this pattern you can use it for a variety of projects. The circle will be flat, so you can use it to make coasters, placemats, pretty much anything. It's totally up to you where you want to use this particular pattern for. You can also modify this pattern and you can use it for making beanies or hats as well. Okay, this pattern is really fun and easy to make. I'll take you step by step through the process so that it's easier for you to do. And also you can make your circles in different sizes. You can make it smaller or larger. It's totally up to you. Like for instance, here I've made just 3 rows of stitches. Okay, and here I've made 4 rows of stitches. In this circle I've made 6 rows of stitches. So it's totally up to you how large or how small you want your circle to be, and all you need to do is increase or decrease the number of rows, okay, to suit your needs. So it's totally up to you. If you would like to learn how to make the granny circle, which is a little different from this, I will leave links in the description box below so you can check that pattern as well. But if you would like to learn how to crochet the solid flat circle, then please keep watching. In this tutorial, I'll be using a 4mm size crochet hook and the yarn corresponding to the size of my hook. You may use whichever crochet hook size is available to you. Just make sure that the yarn you use corresponds to your hook size, alright? And to begin this particular project, you can start with the slip knot method or the magic circle method. It's totally your preference. You can use whichever method is comfortable for you. If you would like to learn how to make the slip knot or the magic circle, I have tutorials in the beginner series where I teach you how to do that in detail. So I will leave the links in the description box below. So if you're an absolute beginner or if you're someone who's just starting to learn how to crochet, then you can check those tutorials out, learn how to do that, and then come back to this one. Okay, so I'll be starting with the slip knot method. So I'm going to go ahead and make my slip knot. Alright, and once you've made your slip knot, now we're ready to make a foundation chain. Okay, so for this circle we'll be making a foundation chain of 5. Alright, so now to make a foundation chain, the first thing you need to do is make sure that your crochet hook, okay, the hook side of your crochet hook, so this hook right here, right, make sure that it's facing up, it's facing you like so. Alright, and then all you need to do is go below your yarn like this. Alright, pull your hook down, which automatically grabs your yarn. Okay, pull it down and pull it all the way through like so. Okay, so this right here is chain 1. Okay, and now we'll have to make a total of chain 5, so we need to make 4 more of this. So you're just going to repeat this. Go below your yarn like so, pull your hook down, grab your yarn, pull it down and pull it through. Okay, that's chain 2, chain 3, chain 4, right, and chain 5. Okay, so here I've made a chain 5, right, and now we're going to convert this chain into a foundation ring. Okay, so to do that we need to make a slip stitch into the first chain space that we made. If you are not sure where your first chain space is, all you need to do is count backwards from your hook. Okay, and when you count backwards from your hook, you're not going to count this loop on your hook. Okay, rather you're going to start counting from the one below it, so this chain right here. Okay, so this will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so this is the first chain that we made, right? So we are going to make a slip stitch into this chain space. Alright, so to do that, all you need to do is insert your hook directly into that particular chain space, that first chain space, like so. Grab your yarn, pull it through, right, and pull it through again. Okay, like so. Okay, so we just made a slip stitch into the first chain space, and That converts our foundation chain into a foundation ring like so. Okay, now two things to always notice when you're working a circle is that you have your loose end right here, right? This one right here is your loose end. So make sure that when you're working your row 1 stitches, okay, make sure that you're holding your loose end with your foundation ring like so, so that when you work your stitches in row 1, the loose end sort of gets into your stitches and you don't have to worry about it in the end. Okay, so that's one tip. And another tip is that when you separate your circle like this, when you gently pull your yarn aside like this, you'll see there are two spaces that's opening up in the center, right? You have this one smaller space above and then you have the larger one below, right? When you're working your stitches in row 1, make sure that you're working all your stitches into the larger space below, okay, into the larger space here, because this is the center of your circle. Okay, the larger space below, this one is the center of your circle. The one above is just the chain space, so don't get confused. So for all your stitches in row 1, make sure you're working into the larger space below. Alright, so now we can start with row 1. So to begin row 1, the first thing you need to do is make a chain 3. Okay, so you're going to make a simple chain 3. So you're going to do the same thing as we did to make the foundation chain. Okay, make sure your crochet hook is facing up, it's facing you like so, right? And then go below your yarn, grab your yarn, pull your hook down and pull it through. Okay, so that is chain 1, chain 2 and chain 3. Okay, so here we've made a chain 3. These 3 chains are going to act as our first double crochet stitch in our row 1. Okay, and when I say double crochet, I'm using the US term. So in the UK, this will be your treble crochet stitch. Okay, so the first 3 chains here will act as one double crochet stitch. Okay, now what you need to do for row 1 is you're going to make 11 more double crochet stitches into the center of your foundation ring. Okay, you're going to make 11 double crochet stitches. Okay, so that you get a total of 12 double crochets in row 1, including the 3 chains that we made, because this will act as one stitch by itself. Okay, so this 3 chain plus 11 more double crochet stitches for row 1. Okay, now to make a double crochet stitch, all you need to do is yarn over once like so. Okay, making one twist of yarn on your hook like this, and then you're going to insert your hook directly into the center of your ring, center of your foundation ring. Remember the space we spoke about, right? And then you're going to grab your yarn, pull it through. Okay, making 3 loops on your hook like so. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops like so. Okay, and then you've got 2 more loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So this is one double crochet that we just made. Okay, so now we have basically 2 stitches, one proper double crochet stitch and the chain 3 that we will count as one double crochet stitch also. So we have 2 so far, right? We're going to make 10 more double crochet stitches. Okay, so just repeat the same thing. You're going to yarn over once, insert your hook back into that same foundation, the center of your foundation ring, grab your yarn, pull it through. We've got 3 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So we made another double crochet. Okay, so we're going to make a total of 12 double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and you may pause the video here if you want to, and go ahead and make a total of 12 double crochet for your row 1, which includes the first 3 chains that we made. Okay, so the chain 3 plus 11 double crochet stitches, so that's a total of 12. Go ahead, make the 12 double crochet, and then I'll tell you how to finish your row 1. Okay, So here I've finished my 12 double crochet stitches, okay, which includes the first chain 3 as well. And now we'll be doing a slip stitch into the third chain. Okay, from the first 3 chains that we made, we'll be making a slip stitch into the third chain space, this one here, and completing our row 1. Okay, but before we do that, I would suggest to just make sure you have 12 double crochets. So just count your stitches before you finish off your row, and in that way you can, make sure that you did the stitches right. Okay, so let's count our stitches. We have our first 3 chains here, which will count as 1 double crochet. Right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I've got my 12 double crochets ready, right, and I worked my loose end along with my row 1, so it's much easier. So all you can do is you can just pull the loose end like so to tighten your center space here. Okay, just pull on your loose end if you've worked it in with your row 1, and see the center space becomes smaller, right? And then let's finish off our row 1. So we're going to do a slip stitch into the third chain from the first 3 chains that we made at the beginning. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So this is my third chain space here. All I'm going to do is insert my hook directly into that chain space, right? Grab my yarn, pull it through, and pull it through again. Okay, so I just made a slip stitch into the third chain space, and now our row 1 is complete. So now let's move on to row 2. So to begin row 2, we're going to start with chain 3. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and make your simple chain 3. So you're going to do the same thing that we did earlier. Make sure your hook is facing up, it's facing you. Okay, and then just go below your yarn, grab your yarn, pull your hook down, and pull it all the way through. Okay, chain 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so here I've made my chain 3, and this chain 3 will act as 1 double crochet stitch for our row 2 as well. Okay, this will count as 1 double crochet stitch. Again, when I say double crochet, I'm using the US term. In the UK, this will be your treble crochet stitch. Okay, so once you've made your chain 3, now you're going to go back into that same stitch that we just worked. Okay, so if you see, this is the chain 3 that we just made, right? So just below that you have this double crochet from the previous row, which is also another chain 3 that we made at the beginning, right? So just above that, this stitch space right here, we're going to go back and make 1 double crochet into that same stitch space. Okay, so I'll just show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to yarn over once like so. Okay, and then insert my hook back into the same stitch space, so right along with this chain 3. So right here I'm going to go back into that space, insert my hook into that stitch space like so, grab my yarn, pull it through. I've got my 3 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So I made 1 double crochet right along with the chain 3 here into that same stitch space. Okay, now we are going to go into our next stitch space. Okay, so the first one might be a little difficult because of the chain 3 that we started with. Okay, but from now on the stitch spaces will be much easier to identify, and I'll show you how to do that. So when you see carefully, right, I'll just take some time to show you what I mean by a stitch space. So we'll be working basically 2 double crochets into the next stitch space. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing now. So I'll just show you where the stitch space is. So if you see that we just worked these 2, the chain 3 and that 1 double crochet we just made, so that's 2 double crochets here, right? We just worked that above this chain 3 from the previous row. Right, so now we'll be moving on to this space here, this stitch here, that's our double crochet stitch, right? So above this one here we'll be working 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, so to identify the stitch space, all you need to do is gently separate your yarn like this, and you'll be able to notice the small tiny space opening up right here. Can you see that? I hope you can see it through the video. Yeah, this one here. Okay, right above this double crochet here, you have this tiny space opening up, and that is our stitch space. Okay, so we'll be working 2 double crochet stitches into that particular stitch space. So when you see from above, from here, you'll see these 2 loops, right? These 2 loops, can you see? So you'll be working basically below those 2 loops. Okay, so I'll just show you what I mean by all of this. So we'll be working 2 double crochet into that stitch space I just showed you. Okay, so you're going to yarn over once, insert your hook into that stitch space, so right above this double crochet right here. Okay, like so. So just insert your hook into that space, and you've got through both the loops. Okay, so from the top, this is how it looks like. You've got the 2 loops and you've put your hook through both of them. You're going to grab your yarn, pull it through. You've got your 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So we worked 1 double crochet into that stitch space. Right, we're going to work 1 more there. So yarn over once. Insert your hook back into the same stitch space we just worked into. Grab your yarn, pull through. We've got 3 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So we have another double crochet into that same stitch space. So if you see now, above this double crochet, we have 2 double crochets in row 2. Okay, so you're basically going to repeat this all the way around for row 2. So what you're going to be doing is work 2 double crochets into each stitch space above the double crochets from the previous row. Okay, you're going to work 2 double crochets into each stitch space all the way around, so that you get a total of 24 double crochet stitches for row 2. Okay, which also includes that chain 3 that we first made. Okay, so that will also count as 1 stitch, and then you'll have 23 more, so a total of 24 double crochet stitches. So I'll just show it to you once again. So here we've worked our 2 double crochets here, right? Now we'll be working into the next stitch space. So if you see carefully, here we have our next double crochet in the first row, right? So right above that, here you can see this tiny space right on top, this one right here. That is our next stitch space. Okay, so we'll be working 2 double crochets into this stitch space. Okay, so yarn over once, insert your hook into that stitch space. Okay, make sure you go through both the loops from the top. Okay, grab your yarn, pull through. We've got 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So that's 1 double crochet. You're going to make 1 more again into that same stitch space. So you're going to yarn over once, insert your hook back into the same stitch space that we just worked into, making sure you're going through both the loops. Grab your yarn, pull through. 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So we worked 2 more double crochets into the next stitch space. Okay, so repeat that all the way around. You may pause the video here if you want to. Make 2 double crochets each into the stitch spaces. Okay, into one stitch space you work 2 double crochet, into the next stitch space you work another 2 double crochet, and so on. Okay, so do that all the way around. So you get a total of 24 double crochets in row 2, and I'll show you how to finish your row 2 as well. Okay. So I've reached the end of row 2 and I've done my 24 double crochet stitches. Okay, so the first 3 chains that we made at the beginning will count as 1 double crochet as well. So that one plus 23 stitches, 23 double crochet stitches all the way around. Okay, 2 double crochets into 1 stitch space all the way around, and you'll have a total of 24 double crochet stitches in row 2. Okay, so before we finish off row 2, I would suggest just make sure you have 24. Count your stitches and see if you have a total of 24. And once you've done that, you can finish off your row 2 by making a slip stitch into the third chain from the first 3 chains that we made in the beginning of row 2. Okay, so this is the first 3 chains that I made at the beginning, right? So 1, 2 and 3. So into this third chain space here, I'm going to make a slip stitch. So all I'm going to do is insert my hook into that third chain space like so. Okay, grab my yarn, pull it through, okay, and pull it through again. So I just made a slip stitch into my third chain space, and that completes my row 2. So now we can move on to row 3. Okay, so to begin row 3, we are going to start with a chain 3. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and make a simple chain 3. Okay, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now these 3 chains are going to act as one double crochet in our row 3 as well, so it will count as one double crochet stitch. Okay, now into the next stitch space. Okay, so you're going to go straight from the 3 chains that we made, that is above the 3 chains from the previous row, right, as you can see here. So now we are going to move to the next stitch space, so this space here, right, this stitch space here above this double crochet, right. So you're going to go through these 2 loops, right, and you're going to work 2 double crochet stitches above this double crochet here. Okay, so you're going to yarn over once like so, insert your hook into the next stitch space. Okay, making sure you're going through both the loops like that. Grab your yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So we worked 1 double crochet here. You're going to work 1 more double crochet into the same stitch space, okay, that we just worked into. So you're going to yarn over once, insert your hook back into the same stitch space, grab your yarn, pull through, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So we just worked 2 double crochet stitches into this stitch space here. Okay, next we are going to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch space. Okay, 1 double crochet by itself. Okay, so identify the next stitch space. So this is the stitches we just worked, right? The next stitch space will be below these 2 loops, right? So right above this double crochet here. Okay, this tiny space here. Okay, so you're going to make 1 double crochet into that space. I hope you can see. Okay, this space here. All right, you're going to make 1 double crochet by itself. So you're going to yarn over once, insert your hook into that stitch space, okay, into the next stitch space, grab your yarn, pull it through. We've got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So we made 1 double crochet into the next stitch space, right? Now we are going to move to the next stitch space, so this one right here, okay, right above this double crochet, so this space here, and we are going to work 2 double crochet stitches into this stitch space. Okay, so we are going to work 2 double crochet into the stitch space here. Okay, so you're going to yarn over once, insert your hook into the next stitch space, so this one right here, making sure you're going through both the loops, grab your yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So that's 1 double crochet stitch. You're going to make 1 more double crochet into the same stitch space we just worked this double crochet into. Okay, so back into the same stitch space, we're working another double crochet. So yarn over once, insert your hook back into the same stitch space, grab your yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. So we worked 2 double crochet stitches into this stitch space. Okay, So you're basically going to repeat this all the way around. So you're going to do alternate stitches. So you're going to do we just did 2 double crochets here, right? So into the next stitch space, so this space right here, you're going to work 1 double crochet stitch, and then into the next stitch space, so this one right here, okay, this space right here, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. In the next one here, we're going to work 1 double crochet stitch by itself, and then into the next stitch space, we're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, so 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochet stitches, 1 double crochet, then 2 double crochet stitches. So you're going to repeat that all the way around for row 3, and you're going to get a total of 36 double crochets in row 3, which will include the first chain 3 that we made. Okay, so this chain 3 that we made at the beginning will count as 1 stitch as well. So that one plus 35 double crochets in total. So just alternate between the stitch spaces. So if you worked 2 double crochets in your last stitch space, so the next stitch space you're going to work 1 double crochet. Okay, 1 double crochet by itself, right? And into the next stitch space, so this space right here, you're going to work 2 double crochet stitches. So you may pause the video here, repeat this pattern for row 3 all the way around, and I'll show you how to finish your row 3 as well. Okay, so here I've reached the end of my row 3. Okay, I've reached my last stitch space, and into my last stitch space I'll be working 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, and before we finish off row 3 again, I would suggest to just count your stitches, okay, in row 3, and make sure that you have a total of 36 double crochets in row 3, okay, which includes the first chain 3 that we made as well. Okay, so that chain 3 that we made at the beginning will count as 1 double crochet stitch as well. Okay, so make sure you have 36 double crochets in row 3, and we can finish off our row 3 by doing a slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the first 3 chains that we made. Okay, so right here I'm going to make a slip stitch. So to do that, all I need to do is insert my hook into that chain space, the 3rd chain space, grab my yarn, pull it through, right, and pull it through again. Okay, so that completes my row 3, and now I'll show you how to do your row 4. Okay, so to begin row 4, you're going to start with the same thing. You're going to do a chain 3 as well. Okay, so for row 4, you're going to begin with a simple chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And this chain 3 will act as 1 double crochet stitch as well for row 4. Okay, and then after that you're going to do 1 double crochet into the next stitch space. Okay, so this is where we just worked our chain 3, right? So into the next stitch space, so this space here, okay, going below these 2 loops from the top, we are going to work 1 double crochet stitch. All right, so yarn over once, insert your hook into that next stitch space like so, grab your yarn, pull it through. We've got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So we worked 1 double crochet into the next stitch space. Okay, now into the next stitch space, so this one right here, okay, we'll be working 2 double crochet stitches together here. Okay, 2 double crochet stitches into the next stitch space here. Okay, so you're going to yarn over once, insert your hook into the next stitch space, right, like this. Okay, going through below both the loops, grab your yarn, pull through. We've got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over the first 2 loops, yarn over the next 2 loops. So that's 1 double crochet stitch. You're going to do 1 more double crochet into the same stitch space we just worked this one into. Okay, so you're going to yarn over once, insert your hook back into that same stitch space we just worked into, grab your yarn, pull through. we've got 3 loops on our hook, yarn over the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So we made 2 double crochets into this stitch space, right? Okay, so now into the next stitch space we are going to work 1 double crochet by itself. Okay, so just 1 double crochet into the next stitch space here. Okay, so work 1 double crochet like so. Okay, and then into the next stitch space we'll again work just 1 double crochet. Okay, so we're going to work 1 double crochet by itself into the next space as well, like so. Okay, and then into the next one here we are going to work 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, we're going to work 2 double crochet into the next stitch space here. Okay, so go ahead and make your 2 double crochet. So that's 1, then go back into that same space and make another one. Okay, so we made 2 double crochets into the next stitch space here. Okay, so this is basically the pattern. So in this row, in row 4, we are going to be doing 1 double crochet in 1 stitch space, 1 double crochet again alone in the next stitch space, and then into the 3rd stitch space we'll work 2 double crochets. Okay, and then 1 double crochet, then again 1 double crochet into the next space, and then 2 double crochet. So that's how it will look like. Okay, so you'll have 1 double crochet alone in 1 space, then into the next space we have another 1 double crochet alone, and then into the 3rd one we'll have 2 double crochets, then again 1 double crochet, the next space 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochet. Okay, so it will be 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet. Okay, so repeat that all the way around for row 4, and you should have a total of 48 double crochet stitches in row 4, which will also include the chain 3 that we made at the beginning. Okay, and also one more thing to notice, that your 2 double crochets that you work in 1 stitch space, right, this one here, it will always coincide with the 2 double crochets of the previous row as well. Okay, so here as you can see I work 2 double crochets into this stitch space, and if you see right below we have the 2 double crochets together in the previous row as well. Okay, so it will always align with the 2 double crochets in the previous row. Okay, I hope that made sense. Okay, so I'll just show it to you again. So here we made 2 double crochet into this stitch space, so into the next one we'll be making 1 double crochet. Okay, by itself, 1 double crochet. Okay, and then into the next one again we'll be working 1 double crochet by itself. Okay, make sure you're working into the stitch spaces and not the gap spaces. That's the difference between this circle and the granny circle. Okay, so here again I worked 1 double crochet into this space as well, and now into the next one we'll be working 2 double crochets, and as you can see it will line up with the 2 double crochet from the previous row as well. Okay, so you may pause the video here and then just repeat this all the way around for row 4 and count your stitches at the end. Make sure that you have 48 double crochet stitches in row 4, and I'll show you how to end your project. Okay, so here I've reached the end of my row 4. Okay, and into my last stitch space right here I'll be working my 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, so when you reach the end of your row 4, just make sure to count the number of stitches, okay, that you've made, and you should have a total of 48 double crochet stitches in row 4. Okay, and once you've made sure that you've done your stitches right and your stitch count is right, then you may slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the first 3 chains that we made, and you can end the row. Okay, so here I know I've made my 48 double crochet stitches in row 4, so I'm going to finish off row 4 by making a slip stitch into the third chain, okay, like so. And I'm done with my row 4. So I'm going to end my project here, but if you want your circle to be larger, if you want your project to be larger, you can increase the number of rows, and the basic concept will be the same, okay. Like for instance, you're going to start with a chain 3, and then you're going to move to the next stitch space and work. And if you see the previous row, you have one double crochet stitch, right? So you're going to work one double crochet stitch here as well, and then you're going to move to the next stitch space, so this one right here, and you're going to work another one double crochet stitch by itself, okay. But then when you move to the next one, this one here, when you see below, you have the increase, right? You have the 2 double crochet stitches into one space, so here you're going to make your 2 double crochets as well, okay. I hope that made sense. So basically the increases will all align together, okay. The increases will always be the same in each row, okay. You're going to increase each row with 12 double crochet stitches. So in row 4 we had 48 double crochet stitches, so in row 5 you will have 60 double crochet stitches. So that's how it goes. So it will always be an increase of 12 double crochet stitches, okay. So once you've done with the number of rows and you want to end your project, all you need to do is chain 1, okay. Get your scissors, leave a little bit of yarn to sew in, and then cut off your yarn like so. Pull your hook through, okay, and then tighten your nose, right, and then you can adjust your circle, sew in the ends, and your project is basically done, okay. So I'll just sew in my ends and I'll be right back. So here I've sewed in my ends and my solid circle is complete. I hope you could follow this tutorial and I hope you could make your solid circles with ease. If you would like to try another crochet circle, which is the granny circle, I have a tutorial on that as well. It's a little more easier than this one since we'll be working in gap spaces rather than stitch spaces. So I will leave links in the description box below, so try that out as well. And please give this video a thumbs up if you could follow the tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Just click on the red button below the video and you'll be notified whenever I post a new tutorial, okay. So I guess that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day ahead. God bless, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.